Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. I made some recent changes to my Fai list to try and help the Bravo matchup. Let's see if those changes worked. Good testing into the Bravo matchup tonight, so... Alright, well, thankfully we have it. I was like, we actually just have it so we can keep our turn going here, which is kind of nice. I'm actually like very thankful for that. I like his sleeves. Yeah, so I think that's like, if it's like a team art they have or something like that, but I really like his sleeves too. Maybe it's a Patreon thing. I'm not sure. They are cool though. Somebody to have, somebody to hold. Let's throw Brand for 3. They give me a Crippling Crush, okay. We're going to go Kodachi. Ronin Renegade. Okay. Bittering Thorns for 4. Met with a defense reaction. We activate 5 for free and come in for 1, which our opponent goes to 37. So we push through 3 points of damage, and then our opponent is just going to swing a hammer. Oh, they're going to Arsenal. They must have something they want to Arsenal here. Kodachi, Rising Resentment. Kodachi, Rising Resentment, Lava Burst, or Phoenix Flame, then Lava Burst, because we get to trigger Shuko, so we technically get another point out of our turn if we go that route, which is pretty cool. It's a good thing to note that like the Shuko trigger actually getting us an extra point here is very relevant. I mean, honestly, like most Flesh and Blood games can be decided by like 1 or 2 micro decisions throughout the course of the game, and like this is a very easy turn to look at it, and like you're just used to like playing the Kodachis, and you go Kodachi, and then you miss out on a point there. And it's like, I would honestly like to be able to see a highlight reel of every time I've missed a decision point like that. Like, and I call them micro decisions because I feel like at the end of the day, like they're not something that like you would even notice at certain times, because like a lot of like, I have no doubt in my mind that there are games that I've looked at turns like that and I'm like, oh, like I was just like, yep, I couldn't have done anything different. Like I played to the best of my ability, and it's like, oh, well, actually, you made a micro decision on like turn 6 that actually cost you an extra point or something like that. So it's stuff like that. And we'll just pass to our opponent here. What on God's green earth is this hand? So I'm gonna pitch Reinforce the Line to play. I have to take 6 here, I'm pretty sure. Like I could block if I wanted to and just come in for 7. I guess blocking 3 and going to 34 is actually better here, and then I can E-strike for 7. Yeah, that's fine. If my opponent is pummeling on a non-on-hit effect card, I'm like so okay with that. Now, I also understand it from my Bravo opponent side of the field, because they're like, oh, I just need to push damage. Like I need to cross the finish line here. So I completely understand their point of view as well. So this is really interesting. I feel like I might as well. I'm just going to play the Reinforce the Line here. So this is Reinforce the Line number 1, and I've played 1 Sink Below. So 2 sinks and 1 reinforced line left in our deck because we have 1 reinforced line in our hand. And then I'm just going to go Kodachi, Snatch. See how our opponent plays it, actually. Couple of ways they could go about this. I don't think it's ever worth me using snaps here. I was like, because my opponent probably just has a defense reaction. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, it would be insane to, like, actually be able to get our opponent and draw 2 cards there. But, like, I think I'm being realistic when I say that, like, I don't think that's a thing that'll ever really come up. I mean, again, this is like a super awkward hand. I really don't want to give up my 4 points here, but I don't think I have another choice. I could take 6. Let's tell our opponent that we're thinking. I could take 6 and go Snatch, Snap. Kodachi, Blaze, Headlong, Breaking Point. Which is not a bad turn. I mean, that's a pretty solid turn. And, like, that's a pretty efficient use of my Snapdragon Scalers. Yeah, I want to lead on the Snatch because I want them to have to give up. I want them to have to give up their defense reaction here before we actually get to a Mask Chain Link. Now, the Breaking Point is looking a lot worse here, but, I mean, that's fine. Okay, so our opponent goes to 27. We throw 4 at them with potential Mask Effect here. Now, they know that, like, I can't actually... my opponent knows that I can't, like, get them with a, with, like, an Ancestral Empowerment right there. And they're just blocking 6 to throw the hammer for 4. Trying to keep their lead while they can, I suppose. This is about to be the second Ancestral Empowerment I'm about to block with. Because it just does nothing in the hand that it pops up with. So I guess let's just take 1 and go to 23. Having to use my 2 of my Ancestral Empowerment so far as block 3s is really bad. Really bad for us here. All right. Kodachi. Rabble Babble for 2. I swear, like, it honestly kind of feels like a Talishar thing. Like, at a certain point, it just kind of feels like a Talishar thing. That I'm just going to run into that. Yeah, this hand's really good. For 2, baby. That's right, Drew. Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot. Like, I haven't got to play a ton of paper reps with my Fai deck, but it hasn't happened to me very often playing Fai, so... Let's go Brand here. See how they block. Dagon is playing this matchup from a very patient perspective. And, I mean, honestly, I have a lot of respect for it. Like, I think it's a very solid way to play this matchup in general. Is, like, with a lot of patience and, like, to play it patient, like, to block. And, like, I just, like, the way Dagon is playing this matchup is, like, says a lot to me about who he is as a player. I mean, yeah, like, and that's so, like, 2 turns in a row we've went to push Mask and, like, I've just hit a 2 attack Ravenous Rabble 2 turns in a row, which is forcing, like, it's making it to where Dagon, like Like, those 2 points change the game a lot because Dagon might have to give us equipment. Dagon might have to, like, do other things. And, like, he's not being forced to do these things because of the way our hands are lining up, which is just so bad. So, Lava Burst. Man, I hate to block with that. I mean, blocking Lava Burst and Furnace gives me, like, the best turn cycle here. Because I get to keep this here. Yeah, I mean, I need to hang on to the Reinforced line, I think, for, like, something that, like, actually really matters. Yeah, Drew, we keep hitting this for 2, man. Like, this is crazy. This is a lot of 2s. Dagon's playline so far has been to let Kodachi hit, block the Ronin, block the head jab, because I'm always throwing head jab at them on Chain Link 2, because I want my opponent to give me cards like that. Blaze for 4. My opponent has a defense reaction. He'll play it here. Yep. So that's all 3 sinks and 2 fates. And then activate this for 1. Like, I haven't really had a turn where I could, like, try to swing tempo in my favor this game. It's been a very interesting game. I mean, I think I'm just going to play my Reinforced line here because I want to. Like, I think I want to get rid of that Reinforced line and, like, I don't know. They've only seen 1 Command and Conquer. Maybe I'm just supposed to play the Sink Below here. I think I'm actually just going to play the Sink Below and just keep the Reinforced line. The Reinforced line has so much value for me when they have a Command and Conquer. Plus, at a certain point, the Kodachis are, like, very, very, very slowly wearing him down. And I do mean very slowly. Gives me the 6 steps, okay? So you're actually going to get punished for that here a little bit. Because you're going to give me the Snatch with Quicken here. With Go again, which is really cool. It's a sweet play for us. Ooh, my opponent's hand must be really good. If they're giving up all their equipment like this... Must be trying to set something up here. Not trying to set anything up. His hand's just really good. I mean, that's a really solid play from our opponent here. So give Stab Wound, Reinforce the Line, and Shuko. Kodachi, Kodachi, double strike, double strike. Arsenal the Sink Below and pray that their next hand is a Command and Conquer. I guess it's probably just always better to play the Sink Below there from hand. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, maybe I'm just supposed to always keep the Reinforce line because it is better. That was an interesting hand. Play Imposing Visage to go get Showtime into... Play Imposing Visage to go get Showtime into Crippling Crush is, like, a really good turn. Because I get to have a 5-card hand here. Which is just so strong. And then I'm just going to Arsenal here. So they have 4 cards. So I was like, so it's very possible they have Command and Conquer Pummel here. Okay. Can my hand do anything here? Block 3, take 5, brand E-Strike for 7. Because without Furnace, we're not really playing Lava Burst here on an all-red hand. Furnace kind of like enabled those hands to like be able to make something happen. This is also an interesting game because like our opponent is like we're behind on cards a little bit. And like if my opponent tries to set it up in second cycle to where like they can, if my opponent like tries to set it up in second cycle where like they're trying to like they're achieving for a second cycle hand that is going to like let them take tempo and try to fatigue me, that's very interesting. Outmuscle is also just a really interesting card. Like I guess they're just playing a blue that like helps defend in the that like helps play defense in the or helps keep the board clear in the Dromai matchup, I guess. I think I'm gonna need that Sink Below. I think that Sink Below is just too good. I'm going to keep the Mounting Anger in my deck. Because it plays to my Chain Links later in the game that I like. And we'll pass. This could also be a Command and Conquer is the problem. Thank God it wasn't. How many CNCs have we seen? 2? Yeah, that very well could have been a Command and Conquer. So this hand is just like really good. Like this hand just has all the value. So I think I'm just gonna go to 3 here. Like I think this is just go to 3 and like play our value hand here. Like take the good hand. Kodachi. Kodachi. Double strike. You can either block 1 with a card from your hand or take 1 and give me a mass trigger here, which I'm okay with either, I think. Double strike. Which my opponent again is going to take. Double strike. Having double strike, which is like feels very weird to say out loud, in one hand is very solid, I think. I'm also at a point where like I'm just okay blocking with Mask because I know that Mask is never really going to hit. That's the first Draconic Chain Link I've played. Like if they come in with all right, let's think about this. Let's do the math on this one, boys. So let's figure out our hand here. Is our hand block brand Mounting Anger come in for 7? That's an 11-point hand. I can also I could Sink Below this if I wanted to and just like really try to rip all the cards out of my opponent's hand. If I Sink Below, I can put Mounting Anger on the bottom. Could also put E-Strike on the bottom. I could block with Mask, keep my entire hand go to 1, and then I have the Sink Below in the arsenal, and then I have Kodachi, Mounting Anger, 7. I mean, 1, 2, demand a card, because they're at 4. If they go to 3, I get to banish this and it comes in for 8. I demand 2 cards. If they give me 2 cards, they stay at 4. And then this still demands 2 cards. So this is actually a really good play. Going to 1 here is completely fine. There's not like a card that they're just gonna like spike us with randomly. And plus I'm like taking the value here out of, like, I'm using my life total as like my biggest resource this game. Mounting Anger. So if they give me a defense reaction here, okay, so they give me 2 cards, and now I'm going to come in with E-Strike for 7, which is also going to demand 2 cards, which is like so good here. Like there's so much value in this hand. And to think I almost considered sinking a card. This is, again, why I talk about all my plays. This is why I work it all out. This is why I keep everything above board so that I can talk about it and that we can figure out what the best, so that I can do my best to figure out what the best play is in my, like, with the hands that I draw. Now, sometimes the best plays aren't that good, but most of the time they're pretty serviceable most of the time. So, Kodachi? I mean, they could consider going to 1 here if their hand is, like, really good. Kodachi again. Okay, block the Kodachi on the pummel. Makes sense. Mounting Anger if they do not have a defense reaction. I mean, I guess they feel like they're at a point where they have to go for it. Rabble Babble for 4 because we hit a yellow, which means they give us their last 2 cards, and then my Soulbead Strike ends the game right here. I actually ended up playing against Dagon White in this game, and I would be lying if I said it didn't feel pretty good to win that one. Reinforce the Line adds such a positive change to Fai in the Bravo matchup that I think it honestly swings the tide in my favor quite a bit. I think Bravo is going to pick up in popularity moving forward with Dromai being such a big player, and that just makes me like Reinforce the Line that much more. Guys, if I missed anything or you all think I could have played any better, let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.